Isn't reckless driving criminal? It's a criminal charge.
Yeah, in most states.
Have you ever gotten a reckless driving or any sort of like what's the gnarliest thing that you've gotten in trouble for?
Well, I've been accused of reckless driving.
Never convicted.
On paper from law enforcement, but I have not been convicted of it, yes. And so usually there is a speed threshold in most states where you could be faced with a charge of reckless driving. But in most states, there has to be like a secondary condition
Like under the influence or
like, making an illegal maneuver, running a red light, stuff like that truly deems it as reckless. Now, there have been times where you're on like a car rally or something like that, and people are going faster than normal in a group, and you get pulled over together, and sometimes the cops get really worked up and stuff like that. But the cool thing is now most cops are real car guys, and so they watch VINWiki, and so when I get pulled over now, it's probably a 50-50 chance that they know who I am, and we do a lot of fundraising with different police organizations and stuff like that. And so, we've made a lot of videos about what to do when you get pulled over to minimize your risk of getting a ticket or getting a worse ticket and stuff like that. And it can be, there's a strategy.
All right,
what
so you
are
got
the
to
top,
share.
the top tips, because Graham's pretty good at this. Graham's been pulled over with me in the car before, and he's like, "Look, I'm so sorry. Is there any way you just let me go and I could just drive away?"
The
I'm not
opposite
gonna.
of what you're supposed to.
He just asks.
I
for
just
it.
full on admit, and I tell my story like, "Hey, listen, I was showing Jack a house on Zillow, and I was honest. Like, I showed Jack this cool house on Zillow." Honestly, I wasn't looking down. I was showing him this really cool house that I just came up on the market. It's not going to happen again. It's not a regular occurrence. I got a clean record. Can I just get a warning? The cop just came back and was like, "Here's your warning. Lucky day. I appreciate the honesty. Go on your day."
So my approach is a bit different, but it is also not just shut up and let them do whatever they're going to do, because a lot of people will tell you that. A lot of lawyers will tell you that, and that's not wrong. You can always deal with it after the fact, but de-escalating the situation initially is always the thing. And so, being a cop is a dangerous job. They're far less equipped than we would hope in most cases, and that's one of the things that we've learned in going out and visiting a lot of these police agencies and some of these fundraising things that we've done. But at the end of the day, you just want to make their life as easy as possible. So you want to make sure that when you pull over, you get somewhere that's truly safe, give them a huge buffer from having to stand in the road, because it is a legitimate fear that they have of being hit while they're standing next to your car. Do not do anything else. Do not move. Put your hands on the top of the steering wheel and wait, and put the window down and wait for them to come. And when they do, they're going to ask you for your license and your insurance, and then you're going to say, "My license is in my back pocket. My insurance and registration are in the glove box. Would you like me to reach for one of them first?" And they'll tell you. And if you tell them that what you're going to do, they know that you've probably spoken to somebody in law enforcement. And then it just relaxes them, and it opens up the chance they may even ask you that. Any friends that are cops and stuff like that. And the more that you get them talking, the better chance you have of something better happening. And so if I get pulled over, I don't care if it's in the middle of Baltimore, I'm going to tell how beautiful this area is, how much I love it. This place is awesome. I'm obviously not from around here, but this is great. If you're in somewhere where it's actually pretty, you're like, "Man, you get to work here. I mean, this is like God's country. Like you're the luckiest man alive to be able to just drive around here every day." And they're not expecting that. It kind of puts them on their heels. Like, "Yeah, it's been good." Like, "How long have you been on the force? How many of you guys have sworn here?" And because if you say that, "How many do you have sworn?" That's how many sworn officers are employed by their jurisdiction. And they love saying that there's not that many. It's a big competitive and stuff like that. And so if you ask them questions about themselves, they're not thinking about how mad they are at whatever they think they just saw you do. And so, I had plausible deniability here, but I might have been trying to hide from a cop at one point in a trailer park, and he might have found me. And at that point, I'm out of the car, checking the oil, pretending like I meant to take 3 turns off the highway. And he's, comes in pretty hot. And I'm just like, "Man, it is so pretty out here. These roads are amazing." And he ends up really kind of forgetting about the initial circumstance of why he was interested in finding out where I was. And we had a good outcome there. And so it was, that's really it. It's just talk to them like real people. Ask them questions about themselves. care about what they're saying and learn. And in most cases, you can have a real discussion about what you may or may not have done and get a better outcome.
The only ticket I've ever gotten, and it made me wonder about this thing that I hear about called the police quotas, how they need to write a certain amount of tickets. I still don't know if this is true.
Sure it is.
So basically I was coming up to a 4-way stop. It was 11 p.m. on a weekday. And I was like 17. I just got in my car. Come up to the stop. Don't make it a complete stop to the point where like, your car like lurches forward or whatever. And then I guess I just went through the stop sign. Cop pulls me over. He's very upset. I'm profusely apologetic. I'm petrified as well because I started driving fairly recently before that.
Right.
And I learned that you can fight these tickets and plead guilty. So you're not pleading not guilty, but you're saying, yeah, I did it. And then they usually reduce, the ticket price because I didn't have a whole lot of money at the time. And they usually offer you driving school, which you can pay for, which for the viewers listening here, it decreases your insurance or they don't report it to the insurance or something like that. So I did all of this. I show up in court and I'm hoping he doesn't show up because also there's a chance they don't show up and then the ticket's just completely dismissed. So I show up, the guy obviously shows up. I plead guilty and the whole thing goes fine. They reduce the ticket price. Everything goes as planned. However, as he was leaving the courthouse, I was watching him because I was under the impression no one really comes to that full complete stop at a stop sign. So I watch him leaving the courthouse and he just completely blazes through the stop sign on the way out of the courthouse, getting me in trouble for doing exactly the same thing. And I didn't blaze through it. I filmed it. And I walked up to like the guard that was outside of the courthouse. And I said, hey, by the way, like I have video evidence of the cop doing exactly what they accused me of doing. Is there anything like I can do with this or, not pay the price, show the judge, anything? And he's like, no, you're just going to have to report that to the police department. And there's nothing that
Did you report it?
No.
So
because they're not going to do.
They're not going to do anything. But
exactly, they're not going to do anything. And I was just so frustrated too because for me that was a serious. It was like $300.
So you filmed a cop and walked up to another cop asking if you could blackmail that cop into not having you get in trouble.
No. It wasn't blackmail. It was the person that was like out. It was the guard.
Yeah.
Of a
person of tremendous authority in the matter.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to just have a conversation with the judge. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
An innocent little conversation about I can see how that might not have worked. Yeah. But in most cases, yes, if you go to court, you can have better outcomes. Generally, especially if it's in a jurisdiction that you're not local to, I recommend using a lawyer. There's a lot of them out there. One of our sponsors is the Ticket Clinic, and they have a nationwide network of lawyers because, my Atlanta lawyer isn't licensed to practice in Nevada. And so if I get a ticket out there, I really want, there's probably a local lawyer there that plays golf with the judge on Thursdays and just gets what he wants. And, and you can have a pretty good outcome.
Although really quick, before we go into that, even if you think it's a bit overhyped, AI is suddenly everywhere, from self-driving cars, molecular medicine, to business efficiency. If it's not in your industry yet, it's coming fast.
But of course, the problem is that AI requires a ton of speed and computing power, so how can you compete without costs spiraling out of control?
That's why it's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or our sponsor, OCI.
OCI is a blazing fast and secure platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, plus all of your AI and machine learning workloads.
OCI costs 50% less for compute and 80% less for networking, so you're saving a ton of money. Not to mention, thousands of businesses have already upgraded to OCI, including MGM Resorts, Specialized Bikes, and Fireworks AI. And right now, Oracle is offering to cut your current cloud bill in half when you move to OCI. This is for new US customers with minimum financial commitment, and the offer ends December 31st, 2024. So see if your company qualifies for this special offer at oracle.com/iced. Again, that's oracle.com/iced with the link down below in the description. Thank you so much, Oracle, for sponsoring this podcast. And now let's get back to the episode.